Tint Wisdom, welcome to 2020. Happy New Year's, everyone. This is the first Tuesday Tint Wisdom of the new year. And, I'm just excited about 2020. There's something about the change and this being January versus December that just feels like a beginning. It's just a few days later, yet it feels so different. So I'm excited to get into today's topic, which is going to be hashtags. I want to talk about hashtags once and for all. I want to make sure that by the end of today's stream, you 100% understand hashtags and will be able to use them to your advantage and not make the very, very common mistakes that people make with hashtags and underutilizing them. So we will start off with this week's quote, and then we'll jump right into the hashtags, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to just check the comments, and if you can see me, if you can hear me, leave a comment, let me know so that I can move forward with full confidence that I'm not just talking to myself. And I'm going to pull up the chat as well. And thank you for everybody who watches live. Thank you for watching it. If you're not watching this live, if it's post-recording, but if you're watching this live right now, a special thank you to you for putting aside the part of your day every Tuesday to watch this and, leaving comments and so on. I just really appreciate it. If you ever find yourself leaving a comment during the live stream and I happen to miss it, I realize that for some reason after the live stream's over, there seems to be a couple comments that I don't see during the live stream. So if I miss anything, I'm never ignoring comment, just ask it again and I'm sure it'll come up. I'm not sure why that happens, but I am going to try and find a solution. So it looks like we have confirmation. Thank you everybody, Billy, Matt, Richard, David, Jesus. Thank you all for joining. And since we have confirmation that we sound good, we will get into this week's quote. So this week's quote is, time is what we want most, but what we use worst. At the core of everything, we want more time. We want more time alive. We want more time, in our life, in our month. Wish there were more hours in the day, more hours to do things we enjoy, to spend with our family, to work, to learn, to exercise. More hours is everything. At the end of the day, time is the only thing you can't, buy or make more of. Time passes, and once it's gone, it is truly gone. So I thought this quote was especially appropriate, being that it's the beginning of the year. And, it's just the perfect time to remind everyone, including myself, how precious that time is, and to do everything you can to make the most of your time. And, that does go back to a word we use often on Tint Wisdom, which is efficiency. And efficiency so that you're getting things done in the least amount of time with the least amount of waste, with the biggest impact. Because when you're able to save your time, you're able to reapply it. And whether you reapply it to your business, to your family, to leisure, to rest, it's great that you're able to free up time. So what's up, Mike? Mike Powell. Time. Think about it. Really think about it. Keep it on your mind. Maybe save, take a screenshot of this, save it on your phone. It's something that easily the thought can get away from you. And when you have extra time, you may not utilize it, or you may find yourself doing things that may not be the best use of your time. And just having that in the back of your head, being conscious of the value of time, is going to help steer you in the right direction of, this quote, which is, once again, time is what we want most, but what we use worst. Just think about this. Just think about how stingy you could be with money at times. Of course, you wouldn't want somebody to come take your bank. Like, somebody asks you on the side of the road, hey, can I have some money? You instantly think like, I'm going to give this person money. Like, maybe you give them a couple dollars, maybe you don't, maybe you give them significant money. I don't know. Everybody does something different. But I think for most people, a sense of being closed off comes in. Like, you don't feel open at that point. You're not like, as they're asking you for money, you don't start pulling out your wallet and you're excited about it. You feel a certain sense of tension and you want to hold on to your money. If you saw a charge on your credit card and you didn't know what that charge was, you would instantly call up your credit card company and complain. You're going to want to protect your money, right? And then, do you give the same value to your time? Because what is more important, your time or your money? it's definitely your time, right? It really, for sure, is your time, because you can earn money. Some have made a lot of money, then they've lost money, then they've made more money. Mike Tyson's a good example. He has tons of money now. He's doing great. There was times where he didn't have money, and there was times where he had tigers in his front lawn. But the point is, money comes and goes. Time only goes. So make the most of it and really give it the value it deserves, because you definitely deserve it. So that's this week's quote. And I'm going to move into today's topic. So today's topic is hashtags. Now, hashtags are something everybody pretty much uses. You see them on Facebook, you see them on Instagram, you've seen them on Twitter, you've seen them for years, but it seems like most people don't really know what to do with them. You may have a couple hashtags in your post, you may fill it. You'll see posts that have 50 hashtags, you'll see some with none, and you'll see some with a handful. Sometimes 2 to 10 or so is probably the most common. But what's the point, and which is better, and how to properly use them? And that's what we want, or what I am looking forward to discussing on today's Tint Wisdom. So hashtags, everything about them. Please, if you have any questions about hashtags, drop them in here, because I want this to be the one and only video you ever need to watch to fully understand hashtags. So the way I want to start off is think about hashtags as a TV channel. We're all familiar with TV. We're all familiar with TV channels. Now we remember years ago, decades ago, there was less channels. Now there's more channels, right? But they're all channels. You have your favorite, you have some you watch based on interest. You have some you have access to, you have some you don't have access to. And you follow those channels. And when a new show comes on that channel, you would know, hey, there's a new car building show, or a new motorcycle modification show, or whatever the channel is. Maybe if it's a political show, there might be a new show on that, or a new news show, or whatnot. But you're watching a channel and you see the shows on those channels, okay? Think of hashtags like channels on your TV. Some people are tuning into those channels, some people are not. You might not tune into every channel, no one does, but you tune in to the ones that interest you, right? That's what hashtags are. Hashtags are ways that content is sorted on the internet instead of channels on TV. These are channels on the internet, channels within a social media platform. So take Instagram, for example, and it's simply saying, hey, if you want to follow motorcycle racing, follow the hashtag motorcycle racing. And if you want to just search and see what was recently posted about motorcycle racing, you're going to search the hashtag motorcycle racing. So you can search a hashtag, or you can follow a hashtag. Now, the tricky thing about hashtags that's very different from TV commercials is it's up to you to get to define the hashtag. So as the person posting the content, you are the one in charge of what channel your content's going to be seen on. So that's why there's such a broad variation in how people do hashtags, because not nobody really knows what they're doing, but a lot of people don't know what they're doing. So like I said before, you see somebody posting, let's say, a picture of a Lamborghini, and then they might hashtag goals. They might hashtag black, if it's black. They might hashtag these descriptive things. You also may see hashtags such as, Lamborghini Gallardo or Lamborghini Aventador, and that's the model. And you can imagine people that are interested in Lamborghini Aventadors and want to see pictures. Well, how are you going to find pictures of a Lamborghini Aventador if you're on Instagram and want to find pictures? You're going to search the hashtag Lamborghini Aventador. So that's the general concept with it. Hashtags are things that people either search or they follow, which is just kind of like a long-term search. Instead of just searching now, you're telling Instagram or Facebook or whatever the platform, hey, show me what comes up in this section. Now, when you think about it under those terms, it should now, the next step is saying, well, okay, I want to be seen in front of as many people as possible that are going to be relevant to what I'm posting. So let's talk about some examples. And for this, I want to actually pull up Instagram. And I feel like the best way to go over this is we'll look at some posts on Tint Wiz's Instagram and go through what people are doing, point out what looks good, what doesn't look good, and so on. So before I jump into Instagram, I'm just going to check the comments. And Mike said more people follow hashtags on, let's say, Instagram than they follow business pages, personal pages, whatever else. You land that hashtag, you'll get a lot more feedback and responses and follows. So that's 100% correct. So what Mike is saying there is a regular person. Now, I know window tinting is very exciting to us because it's our industry. So we want to see everything to do with window tinting. So following accounts about window tinting, hashtags about window tinting. Of course, we're going to do that. But to the average consumer, windows, like they're going to get their window tinted, maybe once every 3, 4, 5 years, depending on how often they switch cars, maybe once every 10 for their home or so. They're not really necessarily going to follow a company that does window tinting because they're not really necessarily going to be interested in seeing their work. Most of the times that's the case. Even if they're your happy customer, do they really want to see all your future tint customers? Probably not. If you have Roto-Rooter come to your house to unclog your plumbing, you're happy with them, you're grateful to them, you're going to use them again and you wish them the best. But do you really want to see the future pipes that are being unclogged by the Roto-Rooter guy that came to your house? No. Does that mean you don't support them or don't care for them? Of course you do. But again, is that a topic that you're actually interested in? Now, hashtags, back to what Mike just said, that's an opportunity to reach people, consumers, in front of topics that are related to what you're doing, complementary, but something they actually are interested in. Okay, so by hashtagging, let's say, a Lamborghini Aventador that you tinted the windows, if you were to hashtag Lamborghini Club in your city, so let's say it was Los Angeles Lamborghini Club, and that's a hashtag that Los Angeles Lamborghini Club typically uses when they share pictures of their club, then you can assume club members of that club are going to be exposed to your picture. That's the idea of hashtags, okay? So you can also imagine that consistency is important because maybe they see it once and it just passes their eyes. But if you're in the same hashtags consistently, they're going to see the repetition of it, and that's going to, earn you more business potentially. So, this topic, the reason I wanted to do hashtags, especially as today's topic, it's something that came up on last Thursday's Tint Wizdom. So last Thursday's Tint Wizdom was with Spencer Burke. He's a social media influencer and social media marketer. So he's got over 800 videos on YouTube, a few tens of millions of views or hundreds of millions of views. He has over 20,000 posts on Instagram. I mean, this is somebody who is posting their life throughout the day, who has been successful at growing his YouTube, his Instagram, his Facebook, and so on. And he was on our Tint Wizdom live stream last Thursday, and he now manages a lot of window tint companies, social media, paint protection companies, and so on. So we had him on, and somebody in the comments had asked about hashtags, and Spencer had some incredible examples that he had used hashtags in the past. So what he was saying was when he was marketing, he used to work at an exotic car dealership. And when he was taking pictures of these cars that were for sale, he would even hashtag horse stables, like where people would keep their horses and race their horses and ride their horses. And the reason is because typically people who can afford horses have disposable income. So they fit into that category of potential supercar owner. And using those complementary and out of the box topics that still fit the demographic is the magic. So we'll show some examples. I'm just reading the comments. We're going to show some examples right now live on Instagram, and that is actually going to answer your question, Matt. Matt asked, do you have a good method for finding related tags in keyword searches? So I do, and I'm going to show you. And there's a few methods. Now, what looks exciting is usually a tool, right? So there's endless keyword tools, and they definitely have their value. My methods are a little more organic. I don't really love using a lot of third-party tools for things like this. I like to explore where you're going to be targeting. So if you're looking on Instagram, That's where you're going to find your related hashtags. And if you're trying to target Google, you're going to use Google, and you're going to use clues from Google search to find related search terms. And the same for Facebook, because I believe that you are able to figure out how Google's relating things and how people are seeing things on a page better than a tool. Because at the end of that day, you have to understand that those keyword tools, the people behind those keyword tools, their interest is making more tools. And of course, that means making an effective tool. But at the end of the day, as things change with the platform you're searching on, has that program also adapted? And the other thing is, tools like that typically work through what's called an API, which is how a tool, a third-party tool, will connect with a platform like Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. And what basically the platforms do is they create what's called an API to allow you as them as a third-party app to connect and get certain information from them. And then they can use that certain information to populate the information that they're displaying to you on that app. Okay? Now the problem with that is they're limited to what is in that API. So they're limited to what information a platform like Facebook is willing to share through that API for third-party apps. So when you're on those platforms yourself, I feel like you're able to gather all the information, or at least a lot of information that those tools don't necessarily gather. So let's jump into Instagram now, and I will show you how to find related hashtags on Instagram, as well as what people are doing right and what people are doing not so right. So I'm going to be scrolling through Instagram, and we'll just see what we come up with. All right, so I'm just finding Instagram. All right, so this is from Midas Window Film Thailand. Beautiful picture of a green Porsche. Now, one thing I want to point out, there is a little watermark in the middle of that picture and a watermark on the top left of the picture. And then there's a sign in the background. So some things to keep in mind. I would suggest that every post you make, you spend a couple dollars boosting that post through Facebook. So what I mean is, if you're going to advertise it on Instagram, do it through Facebook's backend. If you're going to do it on Facebook, do it through Facebook backend. Every post, whether you're targeting Facebook or Instagram, I think deserves a few dollars. The reason it deserves a few dollars is because those few dollars are going to enable your post to get in front of thousands of people, okay, that you target. Thousands for a few dollars, couple dollars. I'm talking $5, $4, $3 for a post, okay? So I think you should post. Now, if you are heavily into organic and you say, I'm not going to spend the money, then I'm going to make one suggestion to Midas Window Film Thailand if you are like them and you put watermarks in your pictures. I understand the idea is to protect your pictures. You don't want people to steal your pictures and use them. However, also understand that Instagram and Facebook, they want to show quality pictures to their users. They don't want to show pictures that are kind of tricks to be ads. They don't want to show pictures that maybe of one thing, but they say something else in them. They want to show things that they think are going to be most pleasurable for somebody to view. So when you put a watermark in your picture, that sends a signal to Instagram. That sends a signal to Facebook. And it says, hey, this is more of a commercial post. Hey, this has a watermark on it. Hey, this might not look as good as a picture of a post we have from a different user of a Porsche that doesn't have a watermark on it. Let's show them that picture instead, because we all know that the platforms limit the amount of posts they're showing you, and you're going to get more, like they're limiting the distribution that you see, okay? And as a business, being on the opposite end of that, you want to do all the things possible to have them want to show it to as many people possible. So what I'm saying is these watermarks work against you, because you know, at the end of the day, if somebody wants to use your picture of your green Porsche that was in your shop, what's the difference? What do you think they're going to do? Open up next to you and start using all your pictures? Like, is it really a problem? Like, is it really, really, really a problem these days? Is there any shortage of pictures of green Porsches? No. So I get it, and I get the watermark in the upper left is so that people are reminded of the brand. However, right above that, as you can see, right above that, I can see the name of them, and their name is Midas Window Film Thailand. And if somebody, and then below that, they put their website and their email. So that's just sending more signals to Instagram. Hey, this is spammy or promotional. Don't show this. Now, let's jump into their hashtag, since that is today's topic. Mike Powell said, I feel that some direct, but some more broad tags center more customers searching. Not us direct tags. Say in the film business, no one knows what that is, but tinters. Say tint, car, windows, homes, for example. So, okay, so just to use those examples right there. In the film business, that is absolutely a hashtag that is only for tinters. It's also for people in the movie industry. So sometimes you'll find unrelated posts in there if you search through that hashtag. And it's not even a general hashtag that all tinters follow. It's really concentrated. It's a great hashtag. It's a great example of why you'd want a hashtag, because they're able to kind of form a community and group their posts together. But it is absolutely not a hashtag that's going to bring you any new customers. So if you're making a consumer-facing post, that's not a hashtag to use. Now, a couple more hashtags that Mike brought up, like tint, car tint, windows, homes, for example. So now we're digging deeper into strategy. My opinion on those are, if you're offering tint, even if you're offering, let's say specifically car tint, these are too general hashtags. They're too general. It doesn't matter if they bring you likes. It doesn't matter, because they're not going to bring you customers. Because somebody searching hashtag home, what are the chances that they're also within 20 miles of you or 30 miles of you, and they're interested in home window tinting, and they see your post, and they pay attention to it, and they call you? Come on, we got little to none. Now think about this too. How many other people are posting in that same home or window tint or car tint hashtag? That hashtag is flying. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't get any likes. People are following that hashtag, even people looking for car tint. But the chances of them being in your area and them becoming your customer is pretty slim. So car tint is a great example of a hashtag a manufacturer would want to use. Why? Because consumers and film dealers both follow a hashtag like that. Consumers might search it when they're looking for tint. So being able to get in front of them at that point, you're getting in front of somebody who's about to make a purchase decision. That could be all the difference if they use that brand, if they seek out one of your dealers. And as a person looking for tint, they're looking for tint. So like I said before, that's going to be an obvious place to go. So a hashtag like car tint is great for manufacturers. It's great for consumers, not so great for tint companies. Now, you might think, so what would be better? Would it be a local hashtag? What about car tint Orlando, car tint Miami? Now, who is probably using that hashtag? Other tint shops. So again, don't be tricked by activity. You have to search for conversions. So is that a good hashtag or not? It depends. It's not the best example, but it could bring you business, because somebody in your city might search that hashtag. So now you have somebody in your city looking for a purchase decision that might get you business. Now, it might not be a hashtag that's there already. So this could be a hashtag that you want to create and you want to dominate, because if you're the only person using that hashtag, then even if it's only one person a month searches that hashtag, it only took you a post. Hey, you're not going to even be moving down the hashtag list. When 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 people a month search that hashtag, low volume, not a lot of likes, but it could mean a steady stream of customers. And when you find multiple hashtags to do that in, all of a sudden, social media is providing you a free return. But again, look how deep we've just thought into the hashtag. You can't just describe it, hashtag move on. And there's another few examples I want to point out of how hashtags are being used improperly and how they work against you. They're not even just not doing something for you. They can actually work against you. So I'm going to get into that in just a moment. I do want to jump in the comments because I see it moving along and I don't want to miss any. So Chris Queen said, I use surrounding cities next to my shop. Example, New Lenox, Orlando Park. Why? Open up a bigger customer base. So yes, using cities around your area, people do follow cities, right? You might want to know if you live in a city, everybody lives in a city, you want to know what's going on in that city. So a city is something that's going to be very localized. Now it is a broad topic, okay? So you may not be able to expect a big return just from one post, but really that's the case with everything. But if you're consistently now posting with that same hashtag, with that same city, over and over, people who follow that start to see it. And people who then engage with your posts, or maybe even they don't, they're going to either contact you, or maybe they start to see more of your posts and so on. And that's a great way to expose yourself to people who may not be seeking out tinting, especially for homes, but may be able to find out some of the benefits of it. And that might be an inbound. So you have to also think, well, is this post about automotive or is it about flat glass? So a lot of people that are driving their car, if they have tint, they like tint. If they don't have tint, they probably don't want tint. Kind of goes like that. Now, I feel like with homes, there's a lot of people with homes, they don't really know that tint exists. All it takes is their awareness to make them interested. So city hashtags, like Chris Queen just brought up, is a great way to use hashtags. Try it out, be consistent. Chris Queen is going to be on this Thursday's Tint Wizdom live stream. So great tip, and I'm sure we'll be getting a lot of other great tips from Chris. Chris runs a very successful shop in Illinois, and he was so generous and kind to offer his wisdom by coming on and sharing that with you all. So prepare some questions for Chris. We'll get to know Chris, and we'll see Chris this Thursday, which is the 9th. So great suggestion, Chris. City hashtags, be consistent. So Mike said, that's true, but a busy site, in my eyes, maybe I'm wrong, but looks like Google reviews when local clients search and see you business pages. So I'm not sure what you mean there, but a busy site in my eyes, maybe I'm wrong, but looks good like Google reviews. So, okay, what you're saying, Mike, is, I believe what you're saying is, he's just saying when a customer checks your Instagram, even if you're not getting a direct benefit, meaning you're not drawing in customers from Instagram, having an active page helps when customers check your Instagram just to kind of see when they see activity versus a dead page. That absolutely makes a huge difference. So Mike, that is right on point. That is 100% correct. But what I'm saying is, or what I would just want to clear up is, whether you're using hashtags that help you or not, I don't think will play a role in the consumer's eyes in that case. If they're just checking to see if you're active, they're going to look at the pictures. They're going to judge, hey, does this look like good work? Does this look like a clean shop? When was the last time they posted? When was the last time they posted before that? How many followers do they have? And they're going to kind of make a decision based off of that. The more followers you have in this case, as long as they don't look fake, the more activity you have on your post, the nicer the pictures look. If they can see your shop, maybe there's some videos, that's going to, reinforce that trust that they're looking for when they go to your page. So what I'm saying is, use the hashtags to your advantage. Hey, Instagram's worth posting on, whether you're going to use hashtags or not, whether you're going to boost it or not. I still suggest, like Mike is saying, I 100% agree, an active page is better than no page. But you're doing it already, you might as well do it. That little extra bit make all that difference, because these are all places, Instagram, Facebook. If you do the hustle right, it takes the same amount of time. It just takes a little adjusting. If you do the hustle right, they all mean a couple customers every couple weeks. And when you have 10 different things you do that bring you a couple customers a couple weeks, that ends up being 1,000 customers over the course of the year. And that is the difference between that growth and seeing where you're getting that value out, and just going through the motions and hoping that you're going to get that value in the future. So that's that. You're very welcome, Mike. What's up, Robbie? Thanks for joining. Ed said, hats off to Chris Queen. I agree. I'm not wearing a hat, but if I had one, it would be off right now. And let's get into these hashtags that we're looking at on Instagram. So let's jump into these. This is going to help answer Matt's original question, which was how can we find some related hashtags and so on. So let's look at these hashtags right off the bat. And we're going to see hashtag Midas photochromatic window film, Midas PPF, Pro Drive Shop, Midas Export USA Corp, Midas window film, Porsche 992 window film, and then paint protection. So this looks to be I'm not too familiar with Midas Window Film Thailand, but I would assume they're a window film manufacturer, distributor out of Thailand. So their market is going to be other window tinters that are looking to buy window film. So, and then also consumers potentially, because if a consumer comes across this post, it may be something that makes them interested in getting this product for their vehicle, whether it be a Porsche or not. So with that context, let's jump into this strategy. Now, right off the bat, you can see their entire post is hashtags. Now, look at that group of hashtags. How pleasant is that to read? I mean, are your eyes like, yeah, I can read those hashtags, no problem, I just did. But it's not the most pleasant thing. And how do you typically feel about hashtags? Do you read hashtags to tell a story? Have you ever read like a newspaper article or an internet article or a book and everything was hashtagged? No, we're used to reading things with a capital first letter and then lowercase after that in sentence form or bullet points, but that. So right off the bat, when I'm looking at this, they are focused about telling me in my face, this is Midas window film, right? So I get it, Midas window film. And as I come down here, there's no content. They're not telling me anything about Midas window film. They're not helping me understand anything about what they do. And that goes back to why at the beginning of this post, was I not completely sure for a second what this business even was. Now, I'm doing a live stream right now with y'all, and I'm interested in figuring it out. So of course, I'm able to read it, I'm able to figure it out. I'm also in this industry. But the typical person scrolling through their feed sees a beautiful Porsche with a watermark on it and just keeps going. So let's keep going. And Chris, let's keep going and let's look at some better examples. So Chris Queen said, explain your pick fully with all your products, then hashtag all of it. So exactly, you just got their attention. The whole idea is they saw your picture. I saw a green Porsche. There was actually posts above this one, and this is the one I was on to start. So it even caught my attention, right? Now you've got their attention. They saw your Porsche. You were lucky enough for Instagram to show it to them. They were lucky enough, like you were lucky enough that they saw it, that they paused, that they wanted to read more about it. Don't just give them hashtags. Tell them something. Grab their attention. You're only going to get maybe 3, 4, 5, 10 seconds to get their attention. So that's actually something just on a tangent. Patrick Fransco from the Window Film Pros, he has a article in the Window Film magazine. He posted a link in the Window Film Pros Facebook group. You should be part of that group, just like you should be part of every group. And the article talks about 3 things that you should know when you're posting on social media to be conscious of. And one of those things that he mentioned was you have 3 seconds. So you have 3 seconds to get their attention. Okay, and then depending on how great you get their attention for those 3 after that 3 seconds is going to depend if they give you another 2, another 10, another minute, or if it becomes a rabbit hole for them. Okay, you might even earn their long-term attention with a follow. So you have 3 seconds. That was only one of the things Patrick said on the article. You can find it linked in the Window Film Pros or go to Window Film Magazine, and I believe it's in there. There's 2 other great suggestions he put in there, so please make sure you read it, because that also contributed to this topic today, because it's obviously a topic that's buzzing around, and I wanted to address it because everybody uses hashtags every day. We have to get better at this. So let's move on to Ride and Joy Window Tint. This is a window film installation company. They've taken a nice picture. They've angled the car correctly. I mean, correctly, but you know what I mean. They've obviously taken effort to make the car straight in the picture. They've picked a Dodge Challenger. It looks like it's a Demon. And that's obviously going to there's a lot of fans of Demons out there. I stopped at the picture too. I could have passed it. I didn't. This one has 2 pictures. Cool. I love it. If you're interested in a Dodge Challenger, you're certainly going to click the pick. I did because I like them. So right here, I'm able to read brand new Dodge Challenger Hellcat, AKA Hell Kitty. That's kind of funny, right? Like, I mean, it definitely at least stops you in your head and you kind of think, okay, it was a joke, whether you think it's funny or not, it's something. It triggered something. I stopped reading. All complete after some dark window tint to tie the stripes and everything together. Okay, so that's pretty decent context or text. He just explained to me they just got some dark tint. So if you know, he got the point across. You know exactly what was done to this Hellcat. And, you know, so going on from there, let's get into hashtags since that's what this is about. And he said window tint. So window tint. I almost think, you know, if you're going to use that hashtag in this scenario, the only reason you're using it is if you think a consumer is going to help understand that this is about window tint by reading window tint. But it's not going to bring you any customers. It may bring you traffic. It may bring you likes. But you're probably not going to get customers from that hashtag. Now, you could say, well, if it's going to bring me likes, even if it doesn't bring me customers, isn't that important? Don't I want that engagement and so on? Well, the answer is sort of who knows. But I'll give you my take on it. The more hashtags you have, the uglier your posts look, right? And if you're Instagram or your Facebook, and the more hashtags you have on a post, you're basically saying to everybody, hey, I need you to find this. I need you to find this. So I think, you know, the more hashtags you have may work against you in the sense that it makes your post a little ugly, and you may not get as good organic distribution as you would have with less hashtags. And I'm talking about at an extreme. If you're going to use 20 hashtags or 30 hashtags, I feel like less can be more in that case. I'm not saying it's wrong. You can definitely try using the maximum amount of hashtags that Instagram allows you to. But I'm just saying, I think there is a slight cost to each hashtag, so use them wisely. So window tint, whatever, let's leave that one alone. Tint. I want to show you what happens when I click tint, okay? So this post, first of all, was just recently posted. Here is hashtag tint. Do you see this? This is hashtag tint. So look, hashtag tint, right? Hashtag tint. So ride, enjoy, window tint, hashtag tint. Now we go to hashtag tint. What's there? First thing I see, a girl with pink hair and lipstick on. Does this look like the crowd that is in his local area, his or her local area, looking for window film? Now, what do we have here? Probably have another tint company. More makeup. 99 tint. 99 tint. So here's the thing. If I'm looking for window tint, if I'm a consumer and I'm looking for window tint, am I going to keep scrolling through this? Not really. Yeah, sure, there's a couple of pictures. But right off the bat, my first impression of this hashtag is I'm in the wrong place. I have no interest in this right now. I'm getting out of here. I don't need this. So this is an example of how an irrelevant hashtag is not like doing you any favors. So let's keep going. Shaded. Let's see what's in shaded. Anything to do with window tint, guys? Not really, right? Not really. Well, there's a challenger. Same challenger. So, you see what I'm talking about here? So we don't need shaded. Let's kick that one out too. And here we have Tint Shop. Who's searching Tint Shop? Other tint shops. So is this going to do anything for anybody searching? What are the chances that somebody searching for a tint shop in your area searches Tint Shop, finds your post amongst all these other posts, and calls you? 0. 0. It's not really 0, but it starts with a 0 because it's like 0.1. And I still think you might have better odds with lottery tickets than that actually happening. So from there we have Dodge Challenger. Again, same point as I just made. What are the chances that somebody into Dodge Challenger also is in your area? Get more localized. This isn't a bad hashtag. It will bring you some traffic. It might bring you some customers. Your chances are more than 0. But this isn't really doing you favors. Focus on what the task at hand is. You posted a picture to bring you more business, to show your work, to get more customers. So is so a good reason to do a hashtag? Is maybe, but probably not a good reason? No. Let's keep moving on until we get to some more definitive ways to bring some customers to you. Top Tint Shop. Again, what are the chances that somebody in your area thinks about searching Top Tint Shop? What are the chances? Let's do it. Let's search Top Tint Shop real quick. And let's just say, here I am searching Top Tint Shop. First of all, there's a company called Top Tint Shop. So if I'm searching Top Tint Shop, okay, I'm getting Can you all see this list? I want to make sure it's, hold on, let me scroll up. Oh, you can't see it because it's a drop down. It doesn't show up. But basically what I'm getting as a result when I search Top Tint Shop is there's a company called Top Tint Shop. Then I'm getting hashtag Top Tint Shop has 20 posts. And then I'm getting Top Tint Shops with an S. And here we are, and there you are. And this is Chris Queen's Instagram hashtag that he's been using. So in this case, you know, the way you could use Top Tint Shop is if you want to own this hashtag and you want to be able to use it and say, hey, to your customers, hey, if you want to see our work, search Top Tint Shop on Instagram and you'll be able to see all our work. That would be a good way to do it because psychologically, they're getting the idea that you are the top tint shop because I can see your work by going to Top Tint Shop on Instagram. You're the top tint shop. But is anybody going to actually search Top Tint Shop? No. And is somebody going to search Top Tint Shop Orlando or Miami or Los Angeles? Probably no. Almost for sure no. I'm not saying no, never, but again, not likely. And you can test this. You can try this stuff out and see and do posts with just different hashtags and see if you get any response on them. It's tough to completely see the return, but if you're using things like, you know, a lead form like a Tint Wiz lead form on your Instagram, and that way every lead that comes in through your Instagram or you're linking it through a post, every lead you know where it came from, then you can start tracking them. You can also track it through like analytics, you can track it through asking them, and you can track it through unique phone numbers. It is a tough one to track, but I wouldn't necessarily go that route. Again, there's better options. So okay, here's one for Veloce. Veloce is a window film manufacturer. Their purpose of this post is probably to, and I'm saying probably because, you know, I can only guess, is to gain consumer awareness so that somebody may want this film for their house. And then also secondary, I'm sure it's that other window tinters see this and may consider Veloce as a solution for their customers. So jumping into their hashtag or into their post, they say Blend 27 will enhance the views of your house while creating comfortable interior spaces, blend performance with aesthetics. So if I was looking through here, we're going to get a little off the subject of hashtags and then we're going to jump into their hashtags, but we're looking at the post, so we're going to talk about the post, okay? First of all, let's think back to a day where you didn't know what Veloce Innovations was. Let's take you back a year, 2 years. You've never heard of Veloce Innovations yet. It's a brand new, you know, company, and you've never come across it yet, okay? So this is our first time. This is how we're going to look at this post, because let's take the angle of consumer facing. Our consumer is going to understand what this is. Potentially our window tinter is going to understand what this is. Let's look at it. Veloce Innovation. Cool. I understand the company. I see the logo. I see it big and bold at the top of their picture. Now, that is going to work against them as far as organic distribution, but it's going to work for them as far as awareness from people seeing it, because it's in your face. I know exactly what it is. So as long as you get to see it, works in your favor. Now, if it means they don't show the picture to many people because it looks like advertising, so just depends. That's where a boosted post, a promoted post, can make up for that amount that you lose through stuff like this. So we see Blend 27. Now, reading the word Blend 27, no idea. Still no idea. Blend 27. I have no idea what that is. Now I'm going to read it. Veloce Innovations. Blend 27 will enhance the look of your house while creating comfortable interior spaces. Blend performance with aesthetics. Okay? Veloce Innovation. These are the hashtags. Blend 27, design, architect, design, passion, love, construction. Okay, so since we are back in a day, years ago, where nobody had heard of Veloce yet, this was pre-Veloce Innovation, okay? And we are looking at this post. Do you have any idea what this is about? Do you have any idea this is for window film? Do you know that it goes on windows? Doesn't say windows anywhere. Says creating interior spaces. Nothing on windows. Nothing on tint. It's going to blend performance with aesthetics. I don't know what that means. I'm just kidding. I do know what that means, but I have to be a harsh critic, because people are used to seeing things past their Instagram feed in seconds. So we have to be harsh critics of ourselves, and we have to be harsh critics of our posts, because we have to be realistic, and we have to think about what we look at. What do we pay attention to? How long do you spend investigating a picture? Not very long. So that's why I'm being a harsh critic on this. Okay? Veloce. If I click Veloce, let's do it. I'm getting cars. Most related hashtags, according to Instagram right here, is Quattrofoglio, which is the Aston Martin or Alfa Romeo rather. Then you have Alfa Mito, Stelvio. These are all Alfa and auto related. Okay, so if this is your target market, then this is appropriate. Now, with that said, you can see, as you know, somebody who owns one of these cars is probably living in Europe somewhere, but they probably have some extra money to spend too, because that's a nice car. So it is kind of cool, because Veloce may be international, that they come across this and they start to become familiar. So, you know, I'm not saying there's no value in this. I'm just saying, is this really the market? Are people that are searching this who you're trying to get in front of? That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And then back to Matt, his original question about 20 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago was related hashtags. What better way to find related hashtags than in Instagram and seeing, okay, well, people who search this also search this. Let's go down a rabbit hole. And when I click that first one, now I'm able to say, well, people who search that also search these. And if you go through every one, you're going to find yourself down a rabbit hole of hashtags that are all related to each other, like a hashtag tree. And that's how you can find related hashtags. You can also then search the post in that hashtag and see what other hashtags are popular posts using. Because when you search posts, you can search top posts or most recent posts. And you can see both. See what other people are doing, search those hashtags, and so on. So organically on here, in my opinion, brings you more accurate related hashtags than using a tool that's going to scan Instagram's API, send you back some hashtags, and tell you need to pay if you want any more. Okay? This is free and it's easy. So Patrick Francisco said would be better with home improvement, energy efficiency, window upgrade of targeting consumer. Absolutely. So absolutely. That's absolutely right. Because somebody searching home improvement, okay, probably is in the US. It's a good chance, because they're searching it in English, spelled home improvement. They're in the mindset of improving their home. They're already actively open to ways to improve their home. Window film may be something that they weren't aware of, and there you go. I doubt they're searching window film, they're searching home improvement if they're looking for window film, but you have somebody pre-sold on improvement, in the mindset of improvement, probably with a budget for that improvement, interested in improvement. That's perfect. Then you have energy efficiency. Well, who's searching energy efficiency? People that are looking to bring efficiency to their energy consumption. That might be homeowners, that might be commercial properties, but Veloce has the best interest in getting in all of those and across the country, right? Because whether you're in Colorado or somebody in New York is searching, Veloce has dealers in all. So they're able to benefit from a nationwide search. So keep that in mind as a key difference to why a hashtag may be effective for a company, but not your company. Okay? So you just kind of have to think about it. You just have to search it, and the answers become apparent. There's nothing behind hashtags that's top secret information. This is all kind of common sense when you just start to think about it and go down that hole. Now, I'm not expecting everybody to be familiar with this, because how much time do you spend on this? But what I'm saying is, don't feel like this is a foreign language you're trying to learn, okay? Because it's a language you already know. We just need to fine tune it a little bit, and you'll bring clarity to it, and you'll be able to use it for the maximum benefit. So let's move on from there, and let's find some other examples. We're going to pass that post because it's not too relevant to anything that we're doing right now. So here's one from Perry396. He's at Tint World. Came in to get the whole vehicle tinted with carbon, 18% all around. I feel like this is a consumer. Let's figure it out. Okay, so this is a tint shop. This is actually a tint shop. So you see what happened there? And I can see it's a tint shop right away because I recognize DSP and I recognize these tri-edge cards because these are the Tint Wiz purple tri-edge cards. So, and there's a soak shield towel and yeah, so here we are. So this is what looks like to be the personal account of somebody who works or owns that tint world. Looks like he works there. He's an installer of all things 12 volt and 16 years experience in window tinting. So yeah, let's go back to that Urus and let's look at some hashtags. Now, I'd like to point out right off the bat, you know, when we read this, there were a lot of things that I didn't understand. Number one, I didn't understand that this is a resource to get your car tinted. I kind of thought this might be the owner of this car, okay? Now I read 2020 Lamborghini Urus came in to get the whole vehicle tinted with SunTech Carbon 18% all around. Now that told me that whatever they tinted the windows with is called SunTech Carbon 18%. Now I'm pretending not to know what SunTech Carbon 18% is because who is this post for? This is for a consumer. A consumer might not be familiar with SunTech Carbon 18. So that's where it ended. Then we added Tint World. I don't know what that says. Tint World. Eatontown, because together, sometimes when words are combined together, it happens with hashtags, it happens with usernames. When certain words are combined together, you can't really figure out where to break in the hashtag or where to break in the word and where to separate it in your mind when you're reading it. So that's another reason why sometimes long hashtags can seem cheeky and cute, but like nobody understands what that actually says and not many people are searching giant hashtags. So that's another way that I was hoping, another thing I want to point out, but super long hashtags are usually like a cheeky fun thing that you do for yourself, but nobody's actually searching those long hashtags. And most people, when they read it, they can't even break up where you are breaking it up. So when I click now on this company, because let's just say you got my attention with that Urus, I like Lamborghinis, I'm curious, whatever, hopefully I'm local to that place. And I clicked on it. Now here I am. I'm in Tint World. They have no posts yet. And I can see they're in New Jersey. I can see they have no posts. Call us today. I can see information about it and so on. That's cool. It helps. At least here I can get more information about them, that they're in New Jersey. Now I know where Eatontown is. If I'm in New Jersey, of course, that's going to be a match. Chances are I'm not in New Jersey. But my point is it's like, why wasn't this post done under Tint World's account? Because it would be more clear to somebody passing it what's going on here. This is a service. Oh, I want my windows tinted. They're in my area and boom, boom, boom. In this case, by doing it in a personal account and then neglecting your business account, you're kind of playing this weird game. It makes me feel like the business is new. It maybe makes me feel like you're new. And that's why the business doesn't have any posts. So I know this was about hashtags, but you know, I think that's important. So let me get back to my stream and let's look at a couple more hashtags. Any questions, just throw them in here. So I'm just going to kind of fly through. I mean, how do you look at your Instagram stream? What speed is it at? Because I feel like this is kind of a speed that most people do. And then they might then you're here. Okay, I like it. It's Silverado, cool. Okay, here's a guy. Looks like he's cutting film. If not, I wouldn't know what he's doing. But it looks to me like he's cutting film because I know what film is and I know what a plotter is. And I'm scrolling. Now I see a light bulb. Cool. Looks like an LED one. All right, 350Z. Awesome. Very shiny car. Okay, PPF. I don't know what that is. Lumar PPF. Don't know what that is. Lumar paint protection. Okay, it must be something that's protecting this paint. Paint protection, self-healing. Lumar again. Lumar films. I don't know what Lumar is. I'm pretending to be a customer that has no idea. Then we're at BMW. So it could be seen in front of anybody who has a BMW across the world because that's a nationwide hashtag. Then we have BMW 240 and then M240. So let's dive into this one, okay? You already probably know where I'm going with the PPF hashtag. Very general hashtag. Searched by PPF companies. Probably searched by consumers as well. Chances you're going to be found in that search, very slim. Lumar PPF. Mostly searched by companies. Again, It's the same story. Search by companies, maybe some consumers. Question is, can you be found in that? Does that feed move too fast for you? What are the chances of them being in your city in that hashtag? Real slim. Lumar paint protection, same story. Paint protection, same story. Self-healing, let's look at that one. What do you think people searching self-healing are really looking for? Oh, super cute. Super duper cute. So we have self-healing. We have some puppy paws. I love puppy paws. Who doesn't love puppy paws? Then we have quotes. You can go to the gym, drink your water, and take your vitamins. But if you don't deal with the shit going on in your heart, now I can't promote this because Facebook's going to pick up that word. I have to beep it out. And your head, you'll still be unhealthy. So I am the medicine I need. That I agree with. That's a great one. So this is a great hashtag. I agree with that one especially. I am the medicine I need. You are the medicine you need. You are the medicine. My heart is open. You become what you surround yourself with. That's true too. Energies are contagious. Okay, so you see what's going on here. These have nothing to do with paint protection film. I can't find even that post. I don't know if, that's a different post, but where'd that BMW go? Crystals and, okay. So you understand? Self-healing. Good hashtag? Are people searching for self-healing looking for their paint to heal itself? They're looking for their body to heal itself. This is not a hashtag for you. All right, let's go back. So then we get into Lumar Films, BMW, worldwide when you're exposed to this. Maybe you get some activity. It's going to be the least targeted activity you could possibly find because now you need to say, well, hopefully I don't get lost in this sea of posts of these amazing posts of BMW. I hope mine stands out to the person searching. And then I hope they're in my city. And then I hope they're compelled to buy my service. Chances? Super duper duper slim. BMW 240, you're just now saying, well, I hope it's a 240 owner. And then M240, now let's bring it even more narrow to the M edition of the 240. These hashtags are not going to be an inbound of business for them. So I'm going to jump into the comments and then we're going to jump into another post. If you have any questions, throw them in here. If there's no questions after this next post, we might sign off. But I'm here for as long as you'd like me to be here for. So we could do a 24-hour marathon if there's enough questions to keep us busy. And thank you, Mike. You said great feed, brother. Thank you for watching, brother. I really appreciate it. Mike Powell. If you want to support Mike Powell, check out, or if you just want window film apparel for either reason, check out Shaded Outfitters. There's some really funny, really cool stuff. You're going to find even a Tint Wiz edition shirt on there. It's not going to stand out, but you can find it on there. It's kind of an Easter egg on the site. And you can order some Tint Wiz apparel. I have some, and I'm going to be wearing it on the episodes that are not that cold because I bought a t-shirt, and I'm usually pretty cold, and I don't want to cover it up with a hoodie. So we're going to be doing a live stream hopefully in February, and it's going to be from a cruise ship. It's a dealer meeting, and we're hoping to do it live from the dealer meeting. So that might be a perfect time to break out my short sleeve t-shirt because the dealer meeting is going to Mexico. So that's super cool. That's a manufacturer's dealer meeting. And if you already know about it and you're going, I'll see you there. And I hope the internet's going to be good enough on that cruise ship to go live and do a Tuesday and Thursday on there. So Patrick Fransco, I'm jumping in back to the comments. Patrick Fransco said, how do you feel about using city names and hashtags? Wide net, but gets you in front of a lot of local people often. Yeah, so cities are absolutely a great idea. Whether you just go off the city, so you want to go off the city, like Patrick's saying, and like what was brought up by, I think Chris brought it up earlier in the live stream, city's a great way to get in front of the people in your area, be consistent with it, know that it's broad, so you have to keep that in mind when you're actually figuring out what is the message here. So what I'm saying is these are not going to be people interested in home improvement necessarily. They're not interested in window film. They don't know who you are. So they have to be able to figure that out in 3 seconds, as Patrick said in his article this week. So you have to keep in mind, who is your audience? Who is that hashtag getting you in front of? And then how am I going to get my message across to that audience? Because it's different if you're getting in front of somebody whose interest is being energy efficient or somebody who's just local to the area. It's different if you're looking for somebody who's in the mindset of improving their home or somebody in the mindset of keeping their home cooler in the hot sun. Those are different triggers. So you have to keep in mind your message, who's it getting in front of? You have to think about yourself, think about them, take yourself outside, assume you know nothing. Pretend I know the nothing game. Pretend your child or your mother or your long lost cousin is the one looking at this. The owner of the Quickie Mart down the street is looking at this. They don't know about you. They don't know about window film, okay? So think about that. So going through these, Robbie said, I'm just learning hashtags, great info. Thank you, Robbie, for watching. And don't hesitate with any questions. If you think of any questions after this live stream, just leave them in the comments. I try to respond to every single comment that comes in after the live streams. If you're seeing comments that don't have replies, they're usually during the live stream, so the answer's in the live stream. So I find it weird to respond after. But, you know, if you ask it after, I definitely reply during text or through text in there. So Mike Powell said, really appreciate the shout out. Search Tint Wiz in the search bar. So if you're on shadedoutfitters.com and you're looking for the Tint Wiz t-shirt and you want to find it without searching through all of their products, which is even a better idea, just look through everything they have to offer, go to the search bar, search it, and you can find it that way. So Krasimir said, who's going to the Expel dealer this month? I can tell you who's not going. I'm not going, but I hope to go to an Expel meeting in the future. I recommend that everybody that has the opportunity and has those dates free and is able to make it out there should 100% go. As I said in the top 10 Tint Wizdom last Tuesday, dealer meetings are an absolute must go to. Attend everything window film you can attend, and you're going to see the value come out of them. You know, you might see it on your first meeting. You might see it on your second meeting. You might see it the first day. It might be something the presenters teach you. It might be something that clicks 6 months later that the person sitting next to you mentioned. But when you get into a group of so much knowledge and so much experience and wisdom, the benefits are huge. So go to the meetings, go to the meetings. Thank you, Patrick. Patrick said, this is good info to be sharing. Nice work. Appreciate that. Mike Powell said, Arizona, end of March. What you got going on, Mr. Queen? So I think they're going to a Flexi Shield training, and that's going to be for exterior window film on a car windshield. You could search the podcast we did with, or the Wizdom we did with Marissa, and see everything that product's about. It's definitely a product that any tin company that's doing automotive should have in their lineup, because or PPF company or wrap company, especially PPF, because PPF companies, even if you don't do tint, this is just such an add-on for somebody doing PPF, because it's PPF for your windshield. Goes on the outside, it protects it. Hey, you can get your car painted. You can also get a new windshield, but you could also put a clear, invisible film on the outside that is going to protect it. So your windshield actually costs more likely than your bumper. So protecting your windshield has a lot of value. So if they're protecting their bumper, protect your windshield as well. So great for tint companies, great for clear bar companies. Check them out. And I know the training that they're going to in Arizona is going to be a perfect start to 2020. Chris said he's bringing his whole staff. Smart move, because, you know, when you bring your staff, and, you know, it may take a couple days off your business, but the payback is huge, because now they know how to sell it. They know how to install it. They know how to answer questions. You're not the only one who knows about it. And that's going to make the difference between a successful launch in your company or just being something else you put on your shelves. You need everybody to know about it, and there's no better way than bringing them all along. So good move, Chris. Invest in your staff, invest in your business, and you get a return from there. Okay? So this is a good example of how to do that. So let's jump into one more Instagram post, see what it has to offer. I'm going to scroll through like everybody would. When you scroll through, what are you looking for? Boom, what is dyed film? This one caught my attention. This is freaking yellow, okay? But it caught my attention. But if we weren't doing a live stream right now and I wasn't interested in window film, I would click this real quick, because I'd go like this. What is window film? Dyed window film. I don't care. Keep going. It's like somebody saying, like, what is, you know, copper wire? I don't know. Don't care. Keep moving. Wrap Studio. That's kind of cool. Wrapstudio.ca. Vehicle aesthetics. Don't know what it is, though. I don't know what it is. Does anybody look at this picture and would know that this vehicle is wrapped? No, right? The way you know a vehicle's wrapped is usually there's a design on it, or it's a color or type of paint that you're not used to seeing. So a matte finish, a satin finish, bright color, a design, color that doesn't come in that car. This to me looks like a black BMW. So Wrap Studio, I have no idea by this picture. I have no reason to stop other than, you know, and then when I look at it, I see all windows I had to click the little down. Okay, so I had to click to see more because I'm interested at this point, but I don't think anybody else would be. And then I see 2020 BMW M3. That was on the first line. So I clicked to see more for no reason, frankly. I should have just moved on from here. But I'm just trying to prove a point. And I can see now that all windows, ceramic, dark 20. So again, now I know that they tinted these windows, and I know what ceramic is, and I know what the 20% means. And I know what the word dark means in this context, but if you want to be cryptic to your customers, this is how you do it, because you hid the information on the second line. You didn't really explain what it is. It's not visible in any way in the picture. There's no description. There's no hashtags. We'll keep moving on. This is good. Global Window Films Finland. If this is targeted towards people interested in carrying the brand Global Window Films, this is going to have no consumer reach, but this definitely has reach to a window film company, as Global's a recognized name. I see samples, makes me think, what do they have to offer? I might watch that video. Decent post. Stock image. Tri-state sun control. Cool. I don't know, based on the name, I don't know what it is yet, but I know they can help me control the sun. Based on the pictures, I'm looking at a lot of windows, so I can understand. If I had a lot of windows and I get a lot of sun, they just related with me, because I'm going, yeah, I know that. I know what that's like, to have sun beaming in my freaking face and in a bright room. Now, what also stands out to me is this, to me, looks like a stock picture. It looks a little grainy. Doesn't really look up to par for like what you see on Instagram, but it is what it is. I don't think Instagram is going to show grainy pictures as much as they would show clear ones. And I think they're going to show, based on the metadata and information on your picture, they're going to show pictures that were taken with a new iPhone before they're going to take pictures that were taken like from Shutterstock or found elsewhere on the internet. But is what it is. I see it. Let's keep going. They hashtagged at the beginning of their post, window film lets you go green at the fraction of the cost of other upgrades. Okay. So I'm glad they did this, and I'm glad we saw this one, okay? And the reason being is because they did the thing a lot of people do, and they include hashtags in the post. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? Well, here's the thing. It's not necessarily going to get you any more visibility to your post. Maybe it will, because maybe Instagram values that hashtag more because it's within the context of your post. So maybe it's going to be more likely to show you to somebody who's following that hashtag versus a post that the hashtag would have appeared lower down in the post. That's a maybe. So that might be one little factor. You know, you've heard of the Instagram algorithm and the Facebook algorithm. There's a lot of things that go into those algorithms. When people say, I know the algorithm, they don't really know the algorithm. They might know some triggers of the algorithm, some ways to take advantage of the algorithm, but the algorithm is something that's way beyond the human brain, I bet, at this point. I bet people within there might not even know. AI might know the algorithm, but I don't even know if anybody at Facebook or Instagram truly understands that algorithm, because algorithms get so complex. And with AI now, and AI being the usage of AI, artificial intelligence, to do things like this, to decide what you see, typically they can actually get beyond the understanding of the people who have set them up once they're in the hands of AI. So anyway, that's just a rabbit hole. Let's get into their hashtags. I don't personally love putting a hashtag as the first word on your post because, again, I'm not used to reading hashtags. I'm used to being on the internet, yes, but I'm not used to reading hashtags. How often do you start a sentence with a hashtag? So I don't really love it. I do like the go green in the middle. Again, now, if we go back to go green, I don't relate with go green. I've never actually gone green. How many times have you actually gone green? I get the term. I understand what it means, but look, I want to save, I want my power bill to go down. Okay, I can relate with that. I can relate with what my electricity bill looks like. I can relate with being in a bright room and the sun beaming in my eyes. I can relate with not being able to see my computer screen, okay? I'm sure everybody can relate with those things. I can relate to heat coming through a window and just making me so uncomfortable. I can relate to it making my sofa or my desk crazy amounts of uncomfortable. I can relate to all that. I can't completely as much relate to going green, because those are things that have actually bothered me and affected me and triggered emotional responses in me in my past. I can actually remember sitting in front of a window where the sun was so bright during certain hours of the day, nothing but blackout shades or putting like white out would solve the problem. Even frost wouldn't do it. Even a 5% reflective wouldn't do it. I can remember that. I can remember the feeling it would give me in my left eye because the window was coming in from my left. I can remember the heat that would build up and make me sweat on the side. I can remember that. So those are things I feel like you can trigger within people. But going green, it doesn't trigger that feeling. I didn't have days where I felt like going green were a part of it. I never felt super happy that I went green. So, that plays into the message, because all these things have to come together. You have to make the post. You have to get the distribution in front of the right people. Then they have to pay attention to that post. Then you have to communicate your message, and you have to trigger them to act. All those things have to come together for success, okay? So I hope this has helped bring an understanding to hashtags. If there's any additional questions, leave them now, leave them after. I'll jump in and answer them. And, I feel like we could go on about hashtags forever. This has been a lot to digest. And I hope it brings some clarity on your next post. The same way I said today, like today's quote, which I want to go back to real quick. Let's go back to that quote real quick. Time is what we want most, but what we use worst. You're spending time doing this every day. You're spending time seeking out customers. Use topics like today's to sharpen your tools so that you can cut broader, cut sharper, and have better impact in your business and be more effective at what you're doing. None of this stuff, none of it, not Tint Wiz, not Instagram, not Facebook, none of it is complicated. It's easy. All you have to do is spend a little time, invest a little time, take down any walls that you might have in front of you that make it feel like it's not for you, make it feel like it's not your thing, and take down those walls and say, this is my thing. I'm on Facebook all day. I'm on Instagram all day. I do window tinting all day. So using Tint Wiz, well, I know how to schedule stuff. I've used a calendar before, right? Yeah? You've used a calendar? Have you ever uploaded images? Of course. You've done proposals, right? It's just a more effective way to do it. Hashtags, you've done them. You've posted them. This is just a more effective way to do them. And this isn't the end all. This isn't everything, but this is the broad way to look at it, and now a way to get deeper into understanding and dig deeper into when you're posting a hashtag. Tint, too broad. BMW, way too broad. All right, what's the message? What's in the picture? Who's this going to appeal to? And start to make your hashtags, start to make your message tailor fit to that message that you're trying to get out there, and you're going to see changes. You're going to start to see DMs coming in for jobs. Then when you start to promote those posts and you start to get more distribution, the effectiveness is there. So when you amplify it through ads, you're going to see a bigger result come back to you in the form of new business. Okay, so that's that. Chris Queen, Erik the Tint Wiz for president. I like that hashtag. Let's get that one going. Nobody's going to search it, but hopefully it builds up enough of a team that we can have that happen one day. I'd love to be president. I was born in the United States, so I am a candidate, and I am 36 years old, so I'm past the age, I think, or I'm right around that minimum age. I think it might be 40. So, let's get it going. Thank you, Chris. Oscar Guzman, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to everyone out there, but especially you. No, not especially you. I'm talking to everyone out there. But thank you for watching, Oscar. It's nice to chat with you. Nice to see you in here. And I hope you and everybody in your family, everybody's doing well for 2020. Like I said at the beginning of this podcast, or this Wizdom, this is 2020, okay? It's just a couple days after 2019, but it feels like a completely new beginning. This is the first full week of it. Okay, this is the beginning. The things you start to do now and you implement them, they're going to pay you back for the whole year. Like this, it's going to be January 2021, and we're going to be talking about this episode of Tint Wizdom, and we're going to be reflecting back on it. So start to put things in place. Make those little steps. Use the systems that you know you should be using. Learn them. This is the perfect time. It's take down those walls. Let's get it done. 2020. This is the year. It's a nice 2020. It's a good year to feel like this is going to be your year. So make it your year, because that's how it happens. It's through positive change. So next Thursday, which is the day after tomorrow, January 9th, we're going to be joined by Chris Queen. Chris Queen, you've seen him in the comments. He has a very successful shop, and he is going to be coming on live 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific to answer any the questions I have for him. I don't know Chris that well. We haven't met in person. We have more of like a little online relationship going, and he's a mutual friend of a lot of great friends of mine as well. So I'm taking this Thursday as an opportunity to get to know him better, find out more what he's about and what has brought him to the level of success he's been able to acquire over the last 4 or 5 years of being in business, and how he's got to this point. So bring your questions, bring your comments. Chris Queen next Thursday, and then the week after that, we're going to be doing a double interview week. So what that means is Tuesday of next week and Thursday of next week are going to be both Tint Wizdom plus guest, and keep a lookout on our Facebook for the announcement of who those guests are. We'll be announcing them at the beginning of next week. So we will see you this Thursday with Chris Queen, and then we'll see you next week for a double Wizdom interview. If you want to watch this anywhere after, if you want to listen to this again, I know this was a lot of information, you can do that. You can do that on our YouTube. You can also do that on Apple iTunes. On the podcast, you can search SoundCloud, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. So those are other places you can listen to this stuff, listen to it a couple times, listen to it while you're working, and it's a great way to absorb this information without having to sit down and watch my face for an hour, hour and a half. So check those all out. Mike Powell, jump in the comments before we sign off, because like I said, if this goes 24 hours, I'm good with it. Robbie said, thanks, man. I'll try to think of some questions. Great quote. Good night, everyone. A year from today, you will wish you started today. That's exactly it. A year from today, you'll wish you started today. It's, that kind of thought always comes into like the gym. It comes into diets. It comes into things you should do. They'll change your life. They'll make you feel better. They'll make you more money. They'll save you time. And all you have to do is start, because once you start, you're already going to start saving time. You're going to start feeling better. You're going to start making more money. You're going to start. So start today. Start today. When you say I'm going to start tomorrow, you're making an excuse. And tomorrow, you'll make another excuse. I'm not saying you're going to do this, but I'm just saying this is how it happens. Okay? What you're going to do is start today, start tonight, start tomorrow morning, start. And a year from now, you're going to feel like, wow, look how far I've come. Chris, great feed tonight. Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for watching. So this will be the point where we sign off, and we'll see you next Thursday. So thank you again, everybody, for watching, and I look forward to seeing everyone on Thursday.